Tower of Babel. One of the biggest construction projects ever undertaken, designed to reach the heavens. But the engineers couldn't finish the job. Halfway through, everybody working on the tower was stricken with the inability to understand what the other fellow was saying. They were all still talking, but they weren't communicating. That incident is supposed to have taken place in about 5000 BC, and we've been trying to understand one another ever since. But not too long ago, thanks to technology, there came along an amazing invention that actually made this problem worse. What is it? The desktop computer, of course. Everybody's got one of these things today, and we've all set about busily automating every task we can think of. On a project like this one, for example, the designers have automated their drawing production, and the structural engineers have automated their calculations for determining the size of members, and the HVAC people have automated their calculation for thermal performance. But they're still not really communicating. You see, we haven't improved the processes that connect these tasks together. And that's because the software packages that make this computer do its job are made by hundreds of different companies. And each software program has its own way of defining terms for the computer to understand. So they all talk to the computer, but they don't talk to each other, which means the people who use them can't do a very good job of talking to one another either, at least not with their data files and electronic drawings and documents. And why is that a problem? Well, on a big project like this office building, for example, our fractured information system, this one we're all using, results in information that's often incompatible, inconsistent, or redundant. You can imagine what something like that adds to the cost of something like this. When you come right down to it, we're all wasting a lot of time. For example, an architect does an initial design and passes it off to the structural and HVAC engineers. Now they all work in parallel, isolated, making changes as they see fit. When they get back together to try to integrate all of their decisions, well, the results are something of a mess. It takes iteration after iteration to finally get it right. But there's a move afoot to change all that, to make all of the software packages talk to each other, to make them all operate from a single shared building model that provides a common language for defining a building project, kind of a universal compatibility. It's being spearheaded by a company called Autodesk, in collaboration with industry partners such as AT&T, HOK Architects, Honeywell, Carrier, and Tishman Construction, to name a few.
The alliance was carefully put together. There are more than a dozen companies. We're all global players. And the important thing about the alliance is that it represents a cross-section of companies that deal across the cycle of the building industry. People who design, people who engineer buildings, people who build, manage, maintain, and then recycle buildings. We're all partners in this.
This is one of the most exciting things that I've seen happen in our industry in the 30 years that I've been in the industry. The design professionals, the manufacturers have come together and are putting in place an intelligent information system that is going to provide long-term benefits over the next decades.